Good morning. This is Come Journal with Jay. I am author Jayla Starr, and you are tuned in by choice. Thank you so much for choosing me. We are here with this podcast, um, Provoking Thought, for the process and the purposes of mental health and positive perspectives. And we are here to grow. We are here to grow. We are here to learn. We are here to experience. Um, so, again, this is Come Journal with Jay. And I am author Jayla Starr. Um, so, in the world of becoming an organized podcast, which you guys know that is what my journey is right now, I created little cue cards. so, um, so yeah. So we're going to try this organize things because I don't want to keep you more than 30 minutes and blase, 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 right? So first, we're going to start off with our affirmation because this is the kickoff to our week for the most of us. For anybody in school, you start school on Mondays. Most people, especially like corporate America and stuff, they start their week on Mondays. Um, so thank you to all of you that work on the weekends. We appreciate it. It gives us somewhere to spend those Monday through Friday checks, right? Okay, so starting off with the affirmations. So our Monday morning, 2/27/2023 affirmation: I will be in the right place at the right time this week and take the opportunities as they come to me. So I chose this one for today because, and I wrote it. I'm the illustrator, right? Um, I chose this one because there are often times that we are so in the middle of our own storm that we forget that we are still living every day. We are living every day. So every moment, it should not be dedicated to that stressful thing, dedicated to that thing that we can't control fast, because if we could just hop in and just fix everything, then it wouldn't be an issue, right? So that thing that you're stressing about, that thing that you're worrying so hard about, sometimes you miss the opportunities for growth. You miss the opportunities for experiences. You miss the opportunities to witness all of that because you are stuck in the middle of your storm, and that's all you can see. In those situations, in those instances, yeah, you do have friends, you do have family that you can lean on and depend on, but becoming who you're supposed to be, nobody else can do that for you. So you need to make sure that you are present in the moment, creating a plan for the things that you have to deal with that is not really a fixable right now situation. And so instead of stressing about it, you need to also be trying to move forward. So that's why I chose the affirmation for today. Again, that affirmation is: I will be in the right place at the right time and take the opportunities as they come to me. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. That's the thing. Um, so how are y'all? I mean, how are y'all? Like, is everybody okay? I do want to go ahead and shout out that you can email me through um, through my website. It's called jstarpublishing.net. So J Star, so J, just the letter J, and then Star, my name, STAR, and then publishing. I'll spell it: P like Peter, USHLING dot, like not the word dot, but an actual period. Net, NET. So again, jstarpublishing.net. If you are listening to this, you are probably on my website, which is a one-stop shop for who I am, right? And then you could be on Spotify because I stream on Spotify. I also stream on Amazon Music and Apple Podcast. So go ahead and visit either one of those places, you know, and holler at your girl. Make sure that you subscribe to my website. It's at the very bottom of the page. So scroll on down when you get to my website and go ahead and put your email address and everything in there. And then so you'll be able to receive all of the communication that I put out regarding my podcast, regarding the question of the day, regarding just any feedback that you want to give me after you've heard my podcast. Then you can go onto my my podcast, my website, and go ahead and send me some feedback, and I will incorporate that into my my broadcast as I see fit, right? So thank you for that. Um, this is actually, hold on just a second. Or maybe I don't have to. Hold on just a second. Oh, good. So I am going to go stop that alarm, which I think I did, but I just need to make sure. Because last time the alarm went off. Yeah, good. Good. So now back to my podcast. Okay, good deal. So next segment for today, I am going to pose a question, and I'm going to talk about that question, and I'm going to answer that question. And then I want you to take the instructions I just gave you to go to my website, and I want you to answer this question too. So, the question of today is, what is your tail sign when you are depressed? So, my tail sign, um, because a lot of people around us, they don't really know, and a lot of times you don't want to explain. If you're not feeling your tip top best, you don't want to go around and start telling everybody the sad story. When people are truly depressed, a lot of times they self isolate. For me, when I'm in a situation where I am anxious or depressed, I get quiet. I'm a talker. I got a podcast. I'm a talker. And just like in the moment, everybody's having fun, or engaging, and I get quiet, radio silence. And so most of the time when it's radio silence, if I am depressed, friends will reach out and I'm not answering. But if I'm busy and I'm quiet because I'm busy, then people will be like, all right, they'll be like, hey, just checking on you, making sure you're good. And by my response, my friends and my family, they kind of know. Um, One day I was crying, but didn't nobody know it. And my sister had called me, and we was working on something with the dogs or something like that. We were working on something, and so I answered. Of course, you're gonna answer the phone for your sister most of the time. But she called me and I answered. She was like, "What is wrong with you?" And she heard the disconnect from my spirit and my voice. Like, people that's around you, they can usually tell, but for me, my tell sign is, I just stop. I just stop talking. Um, so yeah, tell me, what is your tell sign? What is your tell sign for when you are depressed, or sad, or removed from the moment? Like, what is that thing that you've noticed about yourself? And if you haven't noticed what your tell sign is, you need to figure that out. And I'm going to tell you why. Knowing what your tell sign is, for even when you're excited, or even when you're, needing comfort, and it's not really a depression, but it's like you just need some intimate attention. So you can get that from a friend or a family member or a spouse or a partner or whatever. um, but sometimes we need to know when we need that, especially women, because we can turn up in in a moment's notice, right? All right, we can go from 0 to 100 like quickly a lot of times, and sometimes it doesn't even come out. Sometimes you just feel it in your spirit. You just feel that imbalance in your heart, and so ultimately you let that come out on the side where you have to explode because you haven't dealt with those feelings. So that's something, a great segue into the journaling topic, um, which is, why do we journal? You know, why do we journal? Oh, I already did that. um, why do we journal? I journal so that I'm not compartmentalizing, because a lot of times when we go and put something on the back burner, it burns up, it disintegrates into the world, into the atmosphere, and you never go back and deal with it because you in your mind it's gone, but it's really not. Compartmentalizing puts it in a box in your mind over there in the corner somewhere, and people wonder why. Why do you bring up the past when we get into an argument? Yeah, because those feelings were actually never dealt with. You talk about bringing up the past, those are things that has never been dealt with. A lot of times when you have a conflict with people, and there's no closure, it tends to come up. Big situations happen in relationships, whether it's a parent child relationship or spouse on spouse relationship or a work relationship. When those things are not dealt with, but they're kind of like brushed over, they oftentimes come up. So I journal so that I don't compartmentalize. And what I do instead of compartmentalizing, I create a space to deal with it. It don't have to involve everybody that was involved in the conflict or whatever. Those feelings is how I developed the journaling technique that I often preach about, which is the catch and release, catch, address, release. You catch those feelings, meaning that you describe what happened. You address those feelings. You address how it actually made you feel and the impact that it had on your life, and you release it. You come up with a plan. How do I not prevent it, but um how do I not end up in this emotional scarring battlefield again? How do I release these feelings? How do I release these this trauma if it's gone that far? Like, how, like, what's the plan? So the catch, address, release is that journaling technique that I use so that I'm not compartmentalizing. I'm creating the space to deal with it. I'm journaling what I felt, and I'm making sure that I am okay with the outcome. You're in control of your own emotions. Do we force some of those emotions? Yeah, but that's another topic for another podcast. But for right now, just know that you have the power not to create long term grief or damage um, behind this particular issue, whatever that issue is that you are dealing with in that moment. So so yeah, that's, and I can give you an example of a time that um I chose not to compartmentalize, but but create the space to deal with it. So this guy, mm-hmm, it's always dealing with a dude, huh? But this guy that I was working with at my part-time job, he his charger, he's a handicapped guy. He's a handicapped dude. His legs are little, and he walks with like canes that's attached to his arms. Yeah, those things. So what happened was he was leaving and I was coming in. His charger was plugged up under the register where I was working. And he said just a statement. I already feel anger in the pit of my stomach just thinking about this. So he came to me and was like, I don't want to ask you to bend over because I know you're pregnant. First of all, I'm not pregnant. Second of all, you have the audacity to sit around here and act as if you are the all knowing mighty father. Like, bro, you don't assume, especially with no woman. You don't assume. And so my smart comment, because I was mad, was no, I'm not pregnant. I'm just a fat 40-year-old woman. Now, some of y'all may not think that that was like, oh, you could have cursed him out. You could have done so much worse. So, that's cool. But for me, in that moment, I could not just overlook it. But I feel like being petty, that's not me. That's not what I do. I don't be petty. So saying what I said was the ultimate you so petty type situation. So I just nah. I didn't like it. I didn't like what was going on. Not at all. I didn't like that he said that. And so I for me, now everybody's not going to do this because is not authors, you know. So I started a story of a world full of women. And men have they have their roles. They have their roles. So I don't know if this story is gonna ever come out, but that's where I go. I go to my pen and pad every time. Every time now, since about 2017, I go to my pen and pad. I start this journey of focus, of expression, self expression. That's what it is when you write. It's self expression. I mean, even down to the characters I build. I got a character right now that I wrote on a piece of paper. Um, right now I'm at like 2,000 words. Ain't that long, but I'm only at page 6 on my piece of paper, and I got like 20 something pages, 29 pages, I think. So anyway, I just said that to say, look, that's my self awareness, self health. That's what that is. Me going to my pen and my pad. So yeah, that's that's my journaling story for today. And do I journal every single day? I don't. Should I? I don't want it to become an overwhelming thing. I want to journal when I want to journal. So, do I have the space to journal every day? I make time for it. I do. But a lot of my journaling is working on my stories. Um, when I'm dealing with something tough, I give it a face. When I don't want to compartmentalize, I give it a space. I give it a space with a name and a time. I do. And I do that so that I don't in the long run I don't hurt myself by not dealing with these issues. And then so people, you know, they would look at me like, "Girl, you out here, glowing. You out here." But that's because I'm dealing with my issues. It's an everyday fight, moment to moment sometimes. But you got to figure out what works better for you. And for me, it's writing, and that is in the form of journaling. like, you know, catch and release, catch, address, and release. Um, or it can be just me spending time in the world of the characters that I build. And it's not me running from my problems, because I done heard that before. When it comes down to me doing this journaling stuff, people, they want to know. They want to know, how did you come up with this? I write. And one idea turns into another, and then another, and then another. And then it gets to a point where I've created this space in my mind where this is reality for me. Whatever this thing is, it's reality for me. So yeah, that's that on that. Um, what we got? We got about 10 more minutes that I could spend with y'all. So what I'm gonna do, um, I have a my cue cards is getting away from me. Come journal with Jay. um, Another thing, that another segment that I created for my new organized podcast, Come Journal with Jay. You can find me on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or just simply going to my website, not www, jstarpublishing.net. You can go there, and guess what? You will find the latest episode every Monday morning, 8 o'clock a.m. All right. For those of you that are only listening to my podcast and not looking at me on YouTube or my Facebook page, I just gave the biggest smile and I was waving my arms. So there's that. But in my new organized podcast, I have a segment that I want to do, and it's called What They Said. So in this segment, I just go down my social media and read some of the stuff that people are saying, and then I make my commentary. So another thing about this podcast, I've said multiple times, I've even told my friends and family, I don't want to cover celebrities because they don't need me. They don't need me, another person, talking about stuff that they've already discussed or the other podcasters are talking about. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about you, what you go through, your happiness, your disdain, because you may be disdain about the same thing I'm disdain about. How about that? Which, whatever. Okay, so anyway, let's do this. All right, so I am going to be on, because y'all know I got 100 pages, but I am going to be on the page, on the Author J. LaStar page. So I have my personal Facebook, which is Carlotta, which is my birth name. Well, not my birth name. That's my legal name. My birth name is Jessica Starbell, but my legal name is Carlotta. So shout out to my daddy for changing my name when I was a kid. Anyway, I have Author J. LaStar, which is my my connection to other authors. So on this page, it is only authors. So one of I'm just going down my page right now. So investment hits different when you begin to attract and close deals with your true audience. You know what? That's another thing that I help. I have a company. It's called Writer's Block. Writer's Block, and I know I got 6 minutes. Writer's Block is that place where people can go to find their audience. So I'm building it where so you have two different places. You have a place for authors and a place for readers. The readers, they're going to go and they're going to search by genre and they're going to find you. When you find out who's buying your book by searching for genres, then you find your audience. You go to that person and you'll be able to say, hey, leave me a review. How did I do? What did you like? What did you dislike? So given that personable relationship between an author or an artist, I should say, and their audience, who you speak to, who enjoys Like how, because like I said earlier, one idea leads to another idea, which leads to another idea, and then you get so invested in the progress and the process of creating that you learn how to keep going with your people. So that's a good status. And not to say I'm the person to say what's good and what's bad, but it's a helpful status to read when you're just scrolling. That's thought provoking. Like investment, my audience. Yeah, I need to talk to my people, and that's how it relates to me. I mean, you may be in finance, which is my first job. You may be in finance, and so investments mean something different in the world of finance. Or you may be a podcaster and you talk about sports. You got to invest in equipment. You have to invest your time into learning stats and people, and having an opinion. Like on my podcast, I don't have to have an opinion. This is not opinion based. This is just thought provoking. This is just a conversation with somebody that's where you are. Period. I mean, so research, I've done some organizational stuff, but not so much like research. Um, all right. Um, let's see. If you love me, cover me in prayer. A lot of times, you don't need people in your face. You need people to cover you in prayer. Now I'm a Christian, have been. I was raised in the Baptist church when I decided what church I was going to. It was the Church of God in Christ, and and now I'm back to Baptist. Um, but I said that to say that I truly 100% believe in the love of God. That love may not be able to be seen, but you can feel it. And that's why that status is a good thought provoking. Cover me in prayer. You don't have to give me money. You don't have to give me gifts. You don't have to cover me in prayer. Take care of my soul. Take care of my heart. Because that's the type of person I am. You may want gifts. You may want love like that, you know, which is all fine. So that status ain't for you. Let's see. Let's do one more. And then I'm going to take the last 2 minutes just to give some Monday encouragement. Words of wisdom, I should say. Let's see. Uh, how do you say that when you read UGH? How do you say that? Ugh. Ugh. I don't know. The status is I just want to get to the point where I'm selling enough books so I can pay someone else to make TikTok videos, reels, Amazon ads, and everything else for marketing so that I can just write. Woo, get into a point where you can just write. That's kind of not, I mean, you want that. You definitely want that. But a lot of times that's not where we are. A lot of because look at me. I work 14 hours Monday through Friday. If it wasn't for me writing at my job, at my second job, when we real slow and I'm standing there looking like a deer in headlights. Let me go back to this lady. I was about to read one because I felt like it was like I felt like it was real, but for some reason my computer just got rid of it, which is not cool. I got 30 seconds. You think I'm gonna make it? Oh, there it is right there. Oh, there she go. I'm gonna read this right quick. Soon as my computer catches up. That's one thing about technology, man. You need it, but it's not always given. It's not always given. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But I can definitely always depend on this lady. Her brand is everything. Uh, and she's still the bomb. That's what she wrote. And she's still the bomb. From rejection to low self esteem to toxic, horrible relationships to the single mom that said just wanted to have babies and waste her life. That they said just wanted to have babies and waste her life. To an amazing wedding photographer, to international author and publisher of over 100 authors, and business strategist and coach, to editor in chief of my own magazine. There's still so much more to do. I'ma keep going no matter what they say. Wow. Wow is all that I can personally say. Wow. Let's name those things. From rejection to low self esteem, horrible relationships. Let's go into where she, because those are the kind of things that you were. She said that somebody said to her that she was gonna just have babies and gonna waste her life. And then she said, and then the other side, after she said all this negative stuff of the past, she said, to an amazing wedding photographer, to an international author, publisher, business strategist, coach, editor, chief. That's 7 things. Sis named out 7 things that she is right now. Because all that other stuff, oh yeah, it was said, it was done, it was felt. But right now, this is where we are. I'm 33 minutes almost in. But this is where we are. Like, for real. That's for one, is favor. I told y'all I'm a Christian. That's favor. People don't have the right. So this is gonna be my last remarks. People don't have the right to tell you who you are and what you're capable of. People don't have the right. And for y'all that's looking at me, tell everybody that's only listening to my voice on the podcast. Tell everybody how I'm swinging my hand right now. Like, for real. People, they can peg you from their own perspective. But what they say is not what God say. What they say is not what you say. You don't have to say what they say. They don't know you. The only person that can possibly know you is inside and out is you. Somebody can learn your mannerisms and what you do, how you do it. Somebody could even learn you to a point where they can predict if something is going to be favorable to you or not, if you're going to like something or not. Yeah. But you know what? On the other side of that, you change. Your perspective changes. Your energy changes based off of what or how you perceive things, the things that you experience. And sometimes you can see things around you that changes your perspective on a certain topic or whatever. Vegans. Take them for an example. You think they came out the womb saying, I don't like meat. I don't want to get none of that. I don't want none of that in my body. Because your mama, your daddy, your aunties, your grandma probably gave you all that. But once you learned the harmful things that some meats and processed stuff does to your body, you made a decision to be vegan. You made a decision to cut out XYZ. You did that. So just because you did it before don't mean that you have to continue doing it. And just because you don't broadcast your decision and the whys to the people around you, that don't make it any less real in your life, in your mind, in your body, your spirit, your soul. Take care of that. Take care of you. Learn who you are. Learn what you want. A little bit of homework um, before I jump up off of here. I want you to write down the top 10 things you think you know about yourself. Highlight. Highlight those things that will sustain you through the rest of your life. The things that you can't change. The things that are embedded in your spirit. Do that for me. So, all right now, guys. Me with my cue cards. Come journal with Jay. I am done for the day. Again, thank you for choosing me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being engaged. Go ahead, go to that website, jstarpublishing.net. I'm swinging my finger again because y'all know I'm gangster on the inside. I need to stop actually doing that. That need to go away. No, but for real, go to the website jstarpublishing.net. Me at the very bottom, make sure that you send me an email with your email address so that you can be subscribed. Go all the way to the bottom, go under the subscribe, and make sure that you put your information in so that you can have access to me when it's necessary. I love y'all. I say that all the time, and I let you know that it's not a robotic thing for me to tell you that I love you. It's real life. I genuinely have a love for people. Oh, just in case that sounded weird over my microphone, I was actually blowing kisses. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Have a happy Monday. Let me one more time with the affirmation. I will be in the right place at the right time this week and take the opportunities as they come to me. I'm going to be in the right place at the right time this week, and I'm going to take the opportunities that come to me. Love y'all.